By the time the second week of March rolled around, it was getting to a point where it didn't look like it was sustainable, meaning keeping New Jersey school boards open and keeping the schools open.
With regard to our public schools, we have been and are now actively working with districts on extended closure plans to prepare for a potential statewide closure.
Friday, March 13th rolled around, and the night before I was tossing and turning at home trying to sleep, which I couldn't.
I think there was certainly a palpable nervousness, and I felt a little nervous.
I go back to March 13th. Larry brought us into the conference room and said that from this point through the end, at least through the end of April, we would all be working from home.
I knew that it was going to be too dangerous for the staff to stay here in headquarters, and that we had to go remote.
And so it was a little bit of a relief, I remember, when it was announced that we were going to start working from home on Monday.
When we went home on March 13th, what was necessary, the skills, the leadership, the job descriptions that were needed on March 12th were very, very different than the jobs and the skills and the requirements needed to do the job on March 14th.
Today that we are announcing that all New Jersey school buildings will remain closed for in-person instruction for the remainder of the 2019-2020 school year, and that all students and faculty will continue with remote learning.
When the pandemic happened, we just decided what are the things that our members needed. So, workshop. They still needed a workshop. They still needed training. They still needed to know how to use technology products and services. They still needed to understand how their facilities needed to be upgraded to support the new environment.
There was a lot of scurrying. We didn't know if we were going to be gone for 2 weeks or how long. We were trying to pack up all our things that we needed so that we could work from home, and just really trying to plan for what we needed to do to connect with our members.
We got on WebExes, we got on Teams, we got on Zooms, we called each other, and it was a really high-octane, fast-paced, really collaborative week where we were all putting our heads together to answer that question, what now?
The one and only question that I issued to the staff was the concept of whether or not our members will feel when this pandemic is over that we were there for them and we were able to meet their needs.
Around the mid-March timeframe, we were faced with very critical decisions about, okay, what do we do? What do we commit to? Larry Feinstein, our executive director, again, I believe made the right decision. He was very firm in the belief that we weren't going to lay off or furlough any employees to try to get through this pandemic.
We managed to move very, very quickly, and really we would have strategy meetings on the calendar, and how can we hit our members 2-3 times a day? How can we build those web pages, and what new COVID relief resources are out there, and let's get them out.
We started a web page that literally every day there was some kind of new state, federal, both legal, policy guidance. There was just a steady stream of new guidance from the State Board, new guidance from DOE, from Division of Community Affairs on complying with Open Public Meetings Act regulations, and we were just always trying to push out.
We did have to pivot and figure out how we were going to be there for our membership and continue on the training and all the other products and services that we provide to our membership going. How do we do that? Everything that we did in person switched to a virtual platform.
Just about everything that we did went from being deliverable in a face-to-face version to being deliverable online. And it happened, what feels like took forever in my brain, it happened in a blink of an eye. And our members didn't miss out. We didn't miss anything.
this is what was happening. And we were all working 12 hours a day and talking to each other. It was exhilarating, it was exciting, and it was terrifying.
It pushed the entire association out of its comfort zone and said, okay, this is the new world now. How are we going to accomplish this? And it was a team effort. But we quickly found out that between the online programs, the county meetings that went to a virtual platform, the engagement on those, and the demand for that type of online content was there.
Our website experienced tremendous growth during that time because people were just looking for information, and fortunately we did have it.
And doing something like a Facebook Live program to provide content to our membership on social media was great for us.
And I think we connected very efficiently to convey information. You can see their face, you can hear their voice, which is ultimately what counts.
2 weeks turned into 3 weeks, that turned into 2 months, and then we had to make the decision about workshop.
Well, a new FEMA field medical station in Atlantic City is now prepared to receive patients.
They had a hospital going on at the convention center. That almost was an easier decision, right? Now I have to come back and we have to decide that we are now going to have a 8,000 person show with 350 exhibitors and 300 training programs. And we're going to figure out how to do that virtually.
Even virtual workshop, planning virtual workshop, that was something that we had never done before. So just finding the platform and looking at all these different types of platforms, which were really emerging to meet the need of what was happening for people having to have online events. We blew that platform out of the water. We really customized it. We still had 100 training programs. We tried to do everything that we did in person, virtually, and we were successful in being able to pull off most of it. And that took a huge amount of collaboration and a lot of creativity.
And moving that to a virtual platform where you're keeping the essence of workshop, the training, the networking, and the services that the vendors provide, it's a very, very large undertaking.
When we launched the opening session of Workshop 2020, for me was a moment where I actually cried when that first session launched.
What happened was a minor miracle. It all came together. It was so successful. Our members loved it. I'm not suggesting that it was better than in person, because nothing beats in person, but boy, this was the next best thing.
NJSBA had just invested in our own learning management system, and we were creating and moving towards putting our online university up. We pivoted all of that for everybody. It was kind of my job to help everybody see how they could do what they did face-to-face virtually, how to take what they do best in person and make it work through this outlet.
We had 660 applications to be in Steam Tank. And so we actually canceled that. And Jennifer Seal and I had to actually retool to, okay, now we have to go virtual. And so we had 350 submissions, transitioning to a virtual. We didn't know exactly what that was going to look like. After the preliminary judging, we ended up with 240 teams that we judged virtually.
It was very emotionally, mentally, professionally challenging. It really did a number on us not to be able to go into your districts and to try to help lead them through a really challenging time.
For us, the big change was we couldn't go visit them anymore. It was, okay, how do I service the boards? And everybody was struggling that first month, but then when boards started to say, okay, we really do want to continue some of our training, our ethics training, the things we normally do and have to do. How do we do that? Well, they were now on the virtual platform, so we joined them.
By mid-April to May, we were back up and running in a virtual-only environment with the county meetings. We went a whole year of doing virtual only. Last September, we moved into a hybrid version. The program would be a hybrid. People could log in and not only watch the meeting, but participate in the meeting. What that meant for our team was that we had to purchase the equipment, the cameras, the microphones, and then we had to learn all of that equipment.
When they saw me go back and having to add the video component plus the in-person, I felt their appreciation for me and what we do as an association increased.
School districts, I think what they did, and boards of education, was nothing short of really, truly heroic.
It was reaffirmed to me just how important our work is.
In terms of gaining a new appreciation, I've really, truly gained a new appreciation for Larry's leadership and his ability to be flexible.
Every single day during that pandemic, I know our team and myself and pretty much everyone in this building, that was what we were answering in our head. When this is over, will our members know we were there for them? Did we serve them well? And I believe we did.
Because of the pandemic, we now have the means of providing that virtual training, those virtual services that won't be going away.
That's now a part of the whole toolkit. You've got to be able to adjust, and you may have hybrid methods of the way you used to do business in order to meet the needs of the customer now.
I think we did a really good job within the last 2 years. I think a lot of people have grown, especially technology-wise.
I think the unsung heroes in this whole thing have been our staff.
Once again, it was the staff. Once again, it was great support from the officers and the board of directors. And once again, it was commitment from everyone associated with this organization, and an enormous amount of commitment from board members all over the state of New Jersey who were also put through a situation that they never experienced. So the attitude was powerful, and I felt it all over the state, virtually, as I went to meetings, and I felt it with everyone on staff here at New Jersey School Boards. It was a can-do attitude.
We were great before March 13th, but we are even better today.